That song haunts me in my sleep.
Can we change that tune?
We can't. I just got to find the time to do it. I'll try and get something done. We'll put something on there a little more our speed. But that song, I have nightmares to that. You know what I mean? Like I'm getting skunked out in the water, and I hear that. Doot, 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 doot.
Oh man,
we'll talk about the weather.
I'm thinking some I don't know, 70s something.
We'll figure it out. We'll get some blues or something that you and I will both get on.
That's
Something
right.
Stevie Ray Vaughan-esque, maybe.
I really do like Stevie Ray Vaughan. Now, I didn't always because I didn't know about him. And a guy I worked with named Tom Gold told me about this guy and said he's dead. But he said, man, he could play guitar. And if you like blues music, he said, you never heard nothing like him. And I said, well, who is it? He said, Stevie Ray Vaughan. I said, never heard of him. Can't be that good or I'd have heard of him. Well, I was wrong.
I just left the state that took Stevie Ray Vaughan and Otis Redding from us. Otis Redding, his plane crashed in Lake Mendota or Lake Monona, which is right next to Mendota.
Wow. Did not know that.
I found that out the last couple of days. And if you guys notice, I am back in Catfish and Crappie Central, and we'll explain why in a couple of minutes.
Headquarters.
But I do. Look at this. I got some sun. The weather was pretty darn hot. It's bad when it's hot, but it's worse when it's windy because then you get sunburn and you don't feel it until like the next day.
Yeah, and then it's kind of too late.
Then it's way too late. But that's okay. It don't hurt too bad.
My question is, of course, I'm a big proponent about sunscreen and protecting yourself so you don't get skin cancer and stuff like that. Thanks to Mark Davis, who we had on Catfish Weekly one time. Super nice guy. He's had skin cancer, but he fishes every day. I mean, every day. And that's something that's really important. I had something taken off my face, wasn't cancer, but they didn't know. So they took it off. Cindy's had some of that done to her a couple different times. You got to protect yourself. But my question has always been, is the sunburn worse or the windburn the worst?
I think I've had windburn in the winter time, ice fishing, and out in the winter, and that was way worse than any sunburn.
I think so too. I think windburn is worse, and I think that a lot of people get sunburnt so badly because they don't figure in the fact of the sun glaring off the water and coming back at you. Yep. So you're getting it two different directions at least, and on a calm day, it'll really get you. But I think a windburn is worse than a sunburn.
And winter, and not just a windburn, you're also getting the sun reflecting off the snow if it happens to be bright.
Oh, yeah.
So and that's getting it twice as bad.
Off the water, it's bad.
Yeah, I'm actually worse. I'm a big dummy. I'll admit it. Big dummy right here. This guy. I always got to get burnt once a year before I start spraying that sunblock on me. And it's not anything like, I don't use the big heavy creams. I got an aversion to them from working in the petroleum industry for 13 years. There's something about having that cream on you that just reminds me of 80-hour work weeks or something. I don't know, misery outside. I just get that light spray stuff that's in the can, and that usually works pretty good, like an SPF 50. And a lot of times it's got bug stuff in it too, so that's a double.
Don't get it on your electronics in your boat.
I can see how that happened. Lyle, I need to stop and show everybody. Look at this.
I know you got a Chud shirt, man.
I got a Chud shirt. There's a snake in my boot. I was watching him today. It was a good video. Somebody in Mendota named Chad told me that 90% of our show's about food. I'd say it's maybe about 25, maybe 27, but that's all right because food is life, fishing is life. We're living the fishing life is what we're living.
We are. I got to go the other day, caught me some little bluegill and stuff. The water where I've been going out on the Niagara River has been out of hand. It really has. There was a tree, I told you here a while back, there was a tree that had when the water come up, it pushed it in up against the bridge, gone. The tree's gone. Actually, the water has been up over that road so high, they closed the road so the people couldn't get in and out to their houses. It's down now, and the current was so swift in it, I couldn't fish the river. I had to fish puddles that was back off that could go in and out. They could swim in and out to the main current. But fished in puddles off of the main part of the river because I don't think a half-ounce sinker would have made it to the bottom. I really don't.
And panfish won't. They're not going to sit in that current. They'll sit on the edge of it, but they won't sit in the current.
And that's where I was catching them. And nothing big, but I got out, and oh my God, Mark, is my truck a mess after going down them gravel roads? Holy crap! I might as well have sent you the money for the car wash I spent on, because it had done as much good as you having it up there as it did me putting it in that car wash. That was
I take it because I need to do a little shopping for some of them flicker shad and flicker minnows, and we'll talk about that a little later.
Hey, I got something to talk about for tonight before we get started with the show.
Wait. Since we're on the topic, real quick, don't forget that. Since we're on the topic of dirty vehicles, I was parked by one of them trees that have the helicopters. Brandon told me what kind of tree it was, but I got 2 gallons of helicopters out of my boat when I got home.
They're late.
It took like 2.5 hours to get them all vacuumed up.
Oh man, that's a lot. That's a lot. Mark, you know, we talk a lot, and we about tying jigs and making jigs and powder painting them and fingernail polish painting them and all kinds of things. This right here is red.
Hold on a second. Let me give you the Solos layout. There you go.
It's supposed to be red.
That's good. That looks good.
No, it really doesn't. It's supposed to be like a bright red cherry red.
Oh, it looks like a Bing cherry red.
It looks like it's burnt.
Did you burn them in the oven?
Yeah, and that's why I was getting ready to tell people. These ovens that you buy, that we bake these in, are very cheaply made. The thermostats on them are horrible. They're never colder than they say they are, I don't think. I think they're always hotter than they are, because that was set on 125 degrees for 15 minutes. And they come out like that. They was bright red, just as bright red as that Down East Outdoors emblem is at the bottom of our page.
Wow. Lyle, do you have an oven thermometer? Do you use an oven thermometer in there?
No, but I got to get one, because I keep turning it down and going back less time, and I got to get it figured out, because 15 minutes at 300 degrees should not burn that. So that thing's got to be way off. So tonight, Mark, before we leave, we're going to give a bag of those away. There's nothing wrong with them. They're probably more of a natural color than that bright red anyhow, but we'll give a bag of them away. I don't know how many ever I put in there. Might be 10, might be 15, might be 20. Doesn't matter though. It won't cost a dime more to ship any of those, one than it does the other. So we're going to do that giveaway tonight before we leave. And if you're interested in that, you want to hang around for that. Eric Massey says, try white powder first. Yeah, I think that's another thing that I've studied on. If you dip them in, but damn, Eric, that's extra work. You know,
and Eric told me about to get the oven thermometer too. I was just going to give him credit for that idea. Real quick, Down East Outdoors, so I can go through. He says, don't let that spray get on fiberglass boat. It'll stain. He's talking about the sunblocks.
Absolutely will.
And John over at Small Water Charger says, Lindia uses sunscreen. I'm the dummy that just stands there.
Mark,
he kind of looks like it. He looks like he's been in the sun for a while.
I blister if I get too much sun, and I don't like that. It's very uncomfortable, and I didn't used to itch, but now it's like a poison. If my arms get burnt, I just itch. Little bubbles come up. It is very uncomfortable. So I have people remind me, Cindy and other people remind me all the time, don't forget your sunscreen. So Mark Davis, as I talked about earlier, he's another, and he'll tell you, use it liberally and use it often. And it's one of his sayings at the end of his shows. And man, I don't know what he knows about pan fishing, but he's such a great guy. If we could get, I'm pretty sure I can get him on here. I visit with him every once in a while, but he finally has started doing some bass fishing. But man, just a super nice guy. If you haven't watched Big Waters with Mark Davis, you need to, because man, he catches some giant, big, mostly ocean stuff, and from all over. He goes everywhere and catches them. It's a lot of fun.
Make it happen. Lyle. I'll be happy to talk to the man.
Oh man, he's a lot of fun. You'd like him. All right. What do you say we welcome everybody into the show?
Will do. Let me get my screen set up here for live chat and such. All right, here we go. I see 205 Wild Action in the house. How you doing? Catching Fins is here. There's Miss Cindy Stokes. How you doing, Cindy? Crappie Day Fish On's a channel supporter. We appreciate your support. Danny Stone Outdoors. What's up, Danny? Down East Outdoors. How you doing? My buddy and yours, Lyle. Eric Massey from Eric Massey Jig Company. Greg Burgess is in the house. There's my buddy Guerrero Bagre. How you doing, Guerrero? JG Hill Studios in the house. If I had a cowbell, I'd ring it for him. Joe Buck 66 channel supporter. What's going on, Joe Buck? John Boy's Catfishing. How you doing? Sean Abney is here as well. There's John from Small Water Charters and Worm Dunker. There's a cool name. How you doing, Worm?
What?
Dunker? Worm Dunker.
Sweet. I like that.
I like that too. So Lyle, you know, and I bet you a lot of these people know that we went up to Mendota to do some channel catfishing,
and
that didn't pan out whatsoever.
First time I've heard of that, but yeah, I know this last week was terrible for you guys.
It did not pan out. I think I know Chad put like 2, maybe 3 in the boat. Betty put 1 in the boat. I'm pretty sure that Luke Henges put 1 a day for 2 days in his boat, and they had to work hard for that. And I think Troy Hansen caught 1 out in like 14 feet as well, which says a lot about where they're at.
Troy's like me. He fishes back in Cherokee a lot.
Yeah, no, Cherokee, I don't think was, even though we didn't spend much time back there, the ladies had, Amy Hansen had their ladies kayak catfish tournament back there. And they had a whole bunch of ladies fishing back there, and they didn't do very well at all, if I'm not mistaken. So that tells you something, you know. Back there, you in
a real boat.
Well, back there, though, you could, they're everywhere when they're back there.
Can you imagine falling out of one of them things and hitting that silt in the bottom there and sinking up past your head? You never stop going down.
I just got a nasty gram from Betty saying she put 2 in the boat. I'm sorry, Betty.
Oh, I had a thing up from JG Hill, and it says put sunscreen on at least 30 minutes before getting out of the sun. Here is a pro tip that started working for me because I was reminded at home to put sunscreen on. So we keep it in the main bathroom, which is right directly across the hall from me. And when you get ready to go fishing, say not tonight, I'm going in the morning, I set that out on the counter in the bathroom. Then when I go in there in the morning, I put that stuff on before I ever leave the house. And then I don't forget it, because there's some in the boat. I have no clue where. I won't spend the time to look for it because I'm fishing. But if I put it on before I leave, I'm good. There's your tip.
Good tip as well. Give it time to settle up too, so it's not drying or having to get it all sprayed or smeared all over your gear. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I'm also a firm believer that I don't want to get sunscreen on, whether it's my bait or my lures or my gear. Or even my mono. I use mono on my pan fishing rods for the most part, with a few exceptions. I don't think sunscreen's very good for it at all.
No. So, since the channel cat was not playing along, didn't follow script, what did you do, Mark?
I went pan fishing. Actually, I went pan fishing right off the bat. All right, here I'll tell you what happened. I bought a boat pass to all the parks there that have ramps, paid for the yearly boat pass, and that works on all the parks in the whole chain up there, okay? Mm-hmm. And the one closest to our campground is on the south end of the lake. So I had to do, my 15-minute trip from the south end of the lake all the way up to the north end, which is where the bay is. I got bait ready to go. I got my catfish poles out, the whole deal. So I head on out there. I get set up in the usual spot, anchor fish, throw it out. No bite. Maybe like half an hour. I'm looking down and I'm seeing things popping on the surface and swimming around on my sonar and stuff. Now, mind you, it was pretty overgrown with weeds. So even with live scope, it's hard to see. It's very hard to see. So I didn't even rely on any of that. This was all pretty much wind was blowing into the bay. I was looking with my side imaging for like holes in the weeds and such. Every now and then I would mark a fish. There were a couple of boats out there that were too far for my old eyes to see, so I couldn't tell what they were fishing for. But I'll tell you what, I found out 100%. So I threw, I had some, now I accidentally left some worms in my boat, Lyle, from going bait fishing, right? Red worms, red worms are pretty hardy. And we didn't have much hot weather, so they were still good to go. So I pulled my bait rod out and let's see what's in there. Threw it out there, and the first one I got in about 3 minutes, and the thing was a beast. My eyes pretty much fell out of my head. So then right there, it was like seeing a squirrel. I didn't even look at my catfish rods until I had a limit in the boat. They were still in the water. So about 90 minutes later, I had the Mendota limit at 10 in the boat, but they all averaged pretty close. If maybe one was at a pound, maybe a tad over or whatever, but they were big. I posted some pictures and stuff. I'm just really upset that I didn't get a scale out. I know next time I would. So we did that. I did that for about an hour, and then after that, I did a little bit of catfishing, and nobody was doing well, and I don't need to prove to myself that they're not biting when, you got 4 other boats out there not doing well at all. So I'm like, so we're going to go try something else. So we went looking at other fish. So we did some trolling and stuff like that. And the next day I went fishing out with Jerry Hohausen. He, great guy to fish with. I learned a lot about trolling crankbaits and other baits and stuff. So I spent a majority of my time doing that. But we were picking up, not just pike and walleye and bass, but crappie doing that too. So I'm definitely going to give some of that, or put some of that into practice here.
How many species did you catch last week up there?
I think 5. 5, yeah, maybe 4. I think 5. I know Betty got smallmouth as well, and Brandon as well. So there's another one that they caught, and I think she got a drum for the most part.
She did a big drum.
I think it was. I didn't see a picture of it. I don't think she took a picture of it.
She sent me one.
Oh, she did? Okay. Did she ask you if she should keep it for you for dinner?
No, she did not.
So that was pretty much the first day in a nutshell, and we were only there for 3 days. So like I said, the next day I went out with Jerry. He's like, asked me if he could tag along, if we could chase some bluegill. I'm like, absolutely, not a problem. And you know what, Lyle? The next day we caught a few bluegill in that same spot, but we went looking a little bit all over the lake. I caught crappie too while I was bluegill fishing in that spot. And I'll tell you one thing, that those bluegill fight at least 5 times harder than those.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure they do. Yeah.
And at that size, they're pulling drag and they're running, making runs and stuff. It was a lot of fun.
And them are bluegill. They're not hybrids.
They're not hybrids. They're straight bluegills. They're not red ears. They're not shell crackers. Those are bluegills. They were all males too. So, and they were not a bed because I could see the beds in there and there was nothing on there the first day.
So was they done being on the beds or not started yet?
No, I'll get there. So
okay.
All right. So I got my limit, right, of 10. Actually, I got 12. Once I counted them, I figured that I was 2 over, so I put 2 back right away. But the wind had changed. And the last 4, as soon as the wind didn't change, the wind picked up. As soon as there was a little ripple on the water, it was hard to catch those last 4.
Really?
It was hard to in 2 feet of water. I don't know if that made a difference, 3 feet of water, but that's the one thing I noticed. As soon as that wind kicked, it didn't change directions that day. It just picked up, and there was like a 3-inch ripple. That's on the north end of the lake when the wind's coming out of the south. It's got a lot of time to catch speed, or a lot of time to pick speed up. So
right,
that's what I was doing it. So it wasn't too bad yet, but I managed to get that limit in there. And then, like I said, we went chasing other fish. The next day, the wind had shifted and it turned to, no, it didn't shift. It was just there when me and Jerry got out. So I think we put like 4 in the boat. I caught a bunch of small crappie that I threw back. I think I kept like 1 or 2 of those crappies. They were up there around, I don't know, like 10 or 11 inches. They weren't bad, but they were in full bloom. So they're getting ready to spawn up there north too. This is like the first week of like really warm weather they're getting them. I believe. I could be wrong. So that might be another reason to go up there. But yeah, we were chasing bluegills. So me and Jerry headed across the lake. He said he knew a couple of spots, one off a cliff, but the wind got so bad we couldn't stay on anything. We weren't getting bit or anything. So we resorted to going over to trolling crankbaits for the most part, a lot of flicker shads and flicker minnows and stuff. And we were getting bites like crazy. It's just, at 2 miles an hour, it's easy to pull it out of their mouth for sure. You rip it right out.
Yeah, I'm sure you're right about that.
And after talking to him and doing a little bit of research, if you don't have the right fishing rod set up for trolling, if it's too stiff a rod or something, you're going to pull that right out because there's no give to it, especially if you got braid to a fluoro leader, there's no give to it. So you're going to lose a lot of fish that way. So I'm going to be spending some time tweaking that and figuring it out and see if I can't figure out where the fish are around here doing that. So that was pretty cool. We didn't catch any more bluegill that day, but we did catch a bunch of like pike and Jerry got a walleye in the boat. They weren't keepers. The keepers are 18 inches up there, so that's a pretty decent sized fish. I did get bit off by a pike. I had 6-pound test, but this was a big one. I was trolling that first day again, but he was a monster. He spooled me. He emptied a 2000 series spool and it was gone.
Wow.
That was done. That was kind of exciting. And I had 2 pulls out. I couldn't get the other one in, or else I'd have stopped the boat and I'd have tried to chase him down. But I only got 2 hands. I couldn't do that. I didn't have, I was myself in the boat. But it was exciting. It was exciting to have it happen. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, there's quite a bit of 6-pound test on a 2000 series reel, depending on what brand it is, but they're all fairly close,
Well, when I saw that there was like 25 or so feet left on the spool, I kind of grabbed it. I knew what was going to happen. And it was either have it break off at the spool or break off at the bait. I'd rather lose the bait and keep all that line out of the water. So that's what I did. Whether I could have chased him down or not, if I didn't have another line in the water and I wasn't doing 2 miles an hour, I probably could have done that. So Chad showed up the next day. They were chased. Chad really put in the effort for getting channel cats. He got 2 as well, I believe, or 3, I think. Don't quote me on that. They were getting a little frustrated, which is understandable. And then they went out looking for some other fish too later in the day, and they found them out there by that rock island. You know the one I'm talking about? They found them out there over where the beds were empty the day before. They found them out there. So,
well, they was really wanting to get a 20-pound plus fish for deep. And I got that, but even the best laid plans sometimes don't work out. They just don't. And this was one of those times.
If it was easy, everybody do it. It's what keeps you coming back for it. Keep your eye on the prize, and you'll be good to go.
Well, the thing is, we've been spoiled up there. Every year, it's been so easy to put big fish and numbers of big fish in the boat that you have a bad year and say, "Oh, you're all down in the dumps about it." Well, think about your local places. You're going to have a bad day there too once in a while, even no matter how well you know it. It's going to happen sometimes. It's, just like fish are no different than human beings. Everybody has a bad day. And
I had a
bad week.
I had a real bad day, and the number 25 reminds me of it all the time.
Oh, really? I have something here on my desk.
Lyle, I will kick you off the screen if you show that counter.
It's right there. I can see it.
Okay, go ahead and show it. If it makes you happy, bud, go ahead.
It don't. Hey, there's Ryan's joined us, Danny Stone.
What's
LG
up,
Bass.
Yeah, I see LG Bass showed up too.
Did you say hello to Crappie Day Fish on, Parker? There's a whole bunch of new people in here.
I did not. We must have missed a bunch. We got to yapping, and there you go.
Well, that's okay. That's kind of what we do. 205 Wild Action. but we're glad everybody's made it in. We're talking about fishing big water, and which means lakes and rivers compared to your ponds and streams and creeks and stuff that a lot of us utilize to get uh, panfish, whether we're using them to eat or to use for bait. Um, did you change any of your strategies compared to what you do at home? Because I know you don't fish lakes like that.
No, I don't fish big lakes like that. I'll fish rivers and stuff, not mainly for panfish. I do a lot of pan fishing in ponds and smaller bodies of water, like that little local electric only lake. And what I do is, here's what I do. In the springtime, I look for the greenest shore. I fish the shallow water when the water's starting to warm up, because that's going to be the warmest. I fish a lot of temperature, Lyle. I'm constantly looking at the temperature on my graph, and it always does me well, not just in the spring, but in the winter. If I go out chasing those dead blasted white bass, if I find warmer water than, 400 yards behind me, the fish usually end up being there.
Yeah.
It really is. North side of the lake, at least around here, is usually a good part, especially if you do the fishing math. You got the north side of the lake. That means you got more sun in the morning, right? Find the shallows. You find the entrance and exits from the shallows, because the predators are going to chase fish back and forth. If you're chasing the predators, you're going to want to be the bait fish. You're going to want to, match the hatch, resemble the bait fish with your lure and your presentation. And you usually do okay. Spring is when everything starts popping. It should be the easiest time to fish for the most part. At least a lot of species. We're not talking about like flathead or anything like that, or muskie or whatever, where the cold water still affects them as much. But as far as like panfish goes, even bass, walleye, things like that. So
we have another bunch of new people joined us. Ryan with Setting Hooks and Crossing Eyes has joined us. Rowdy Royal has joined us. Benoit Fishing Outdoors has joined us. John Boy's Catfishing has joined us. Fishing with Don V. Welcome, everybody. We're sure glad to have you in here tonight. There's Mike Irwin.
There's Fishing with Squirrel. What's up, Dawson? How you doing, bud?
Good to see Dawson in here. It's so easy to miss these people, Mark.
Yeah, especially when I start yapping, it's hard to look at chat. So I apologize.
Well, it is when you're concentrating on something else. But yeah, Schmieder
of the Cedars. Yeah, multi-species fishing is fun, because you never know what you're going to catch.
That's very true. You're not necessarily targeting one specific thing. You just want some action, and you got it.
Well, I got a theory about multi-species fishing, at least in the same day. If you use a bait that matches, the feed, what fish, and all fish pretty much feed on a lot of the same stuff, like shad or minnows, shiners, stuff like that, worms, insects. There's no telling what you're going to catch,
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Oh yeah, Brandon got a rock bass too as well, or a goggle eye, as some people like to call a big one. I think it was his PB. He was excited about that.
If you go to the Missouri Department of Conservation and look up goggle eye, warmouth, red-eyed bass, they all consider the same fish.
I did not know.
In Missouri Conservation, you can check that real easily by going to the Master Anglers Awards, and they're all listed there. They're all listed as one fish. A lot of people say they're not, but my marine biologists actually make that list up. So I'm going with what they say.
And also, we have what's the one guest that we had on our show? The young man who was very informative. He's got a YouTube channel. Koa, that's it. Koa would know if anybody. So.
Oh, absolutely. Man, what a man! He's got some knowledge, dude. I think the world of him. I visit with him every once in a while. He should do. I know he's studying real hard. He's trying to get his master's degrees and all this stuff. There's no telling what he'll end up doing. He's so knowledgeable and cares so much about what he does. He's kind of got it going on, and when he gets done, I hope that he locates somewhere where he's able to continue with his shows because school is keeping him from doing his YouTube stuff, and he's so knowledgeable and he passes on information that a lot of us probably wouldn't get anywhere else.
Parker Pursuit says someone should do a multi-species tournament. There you go, Parker. One you can't win is one that you got to host. Right there, buddy.
That's a very very entertaining idea. Hey, there's Betty.
Betty Jean says she's headed home with 9 saw guys to clean.
Okay.
Danny Stone says, I've always thought they were the same fish, just like all the different names for a bowfin. It's still a bowfin.
That's exactly right.
We call them dogfish up here.
Yeah, that's what we call them. But they're still bowfin. Yep.
So, yeah, that's pretty much the trip in a nutshell. We had a lot of fun. We got to hang out. Caught a lot of those bluegill. We caught a lot of multi-species stuff. It was pretty neat. Definitely had some excitement. Weather was pretty hot. It was warm, windy. So that big lake was a little choppy.
Yeah.
Like I said, we had a blast. It was 100% good time.
Welcome, Frank. Glad to see you made it in.
What's going on, Frank? How you doing, bud? And last night they had some real horrible weather up there. Like I was saying, 80-mile-an-hour winds, trees blown down everywhere. Power was down for 20 hours. I texted with Jerry up there. I think Betty checked in with him too. He was saying it was kind of a mess. The power was out for hours and hours and hours. So we left at a good time. So I know Betty and what's his name? Chad. Yeah, that's right. We're having for the wind battle in the wind all the way home.
That wind will hurt you. Gas mileage pretty bad.
We were lucky. We were lucky we left when we did. Oh, Lyle, you want to hear a little side story about the Friday I got up there?
Absolutely.
This might not have anything to do with fishing, but this might give you a little more fodder when you go to make fun of me here because I feel like a fool. Made it all the way up there, right? The whole 2-hour trip, right? Got all set up, get everything in place, waiting for people to show up. I was the first one at camp, and I realized that I forgot something at home.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I forgot the barbecue pork that I worked my butt to make off to feed everybody that night. So I drove it was in the freezer. So I drove all the way home and I drove all the way back out there. So I made 3 trips between home and Mendota on Friday in 6 hours time.
Wow.
But I'm a man of my word. So there you go.
You got your drive time in.
I did. Lots of
Did
toll.
Betty make fun of you for that?
No, not really. She
That's
will.
too bad.
She will. There's Creole. What's up, Creole? There's Troy from Real and Virtual Outdoors.
Troy, glad to see both of you in here tonight. Yeah, I can't believe she missed that opportunity.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have. That'd be like me going all the way up there and having to drive all the way back for potato salad.
She's laughing now.
Yeah. Oh man. Wow. 2-hour drive just to get. You could have probably bought it cheaper.
No, that's all right. I made it because I made a few care packages for her to take home. So I wanted to make sure she got it. So
well, I understand that. Because she kind of took care of you guys up there, didn't she?
100%. She's quite the cook. We had this Mary Me chicken one night. We had oh my God, you're gonna put me on the spot here. We had the fish fry at Jerry's. We had the pork one night, and then we had tacos one night. They were pretty good. They're real good, actually.
I'll tell you what I need. I need Betty's recipe for that fish breading. Betty.
I'm not saying nothing.
She's not either. Believe me. I've been after her for 2 years.
Not saying nothing. I might have a bag of it that I brought home that goes with them bluegill fillets that I brought home.
Oh man, it is what it is. I keep using Andy until I find something better.
I'm sure she'll take good care of you. I think she said that she would have given it to you if you showed up in Mendota, but since you didn't show up, you're gonna have to wait till you see her.
Here we go.
Benoit Fishing Outdoors says, got paid to go fishing today. Cookout at work with a fishing competition. Oh, there you go. When you get to fish at work, you're doing something right.
You're doing something right.
Caught the most fish, huge gills, and a bunch of largemouth. So close to winning till someone got a 15.5-inch bass last minute.
Wow. My question is, did you take those bass home and fillet them up? Because every one of those you eat, is one that don't eat all your bluegill and crappie. A wise man told me that once.
Mm-hmm.
Semi-wise.
You two about the same height?
Pretty close.
Pretty close, okay.
Pretty close, yeah. He keeps telling me not to be telling everybody all the secrets that we share. Don't tell me.
So Lyle, it's Memorial Day weekend's coming up.
It is, and before you get off your story, people, please remember why we celebrate this holiday. It's not all about drinking beer and having barbecue and company over on a Saturday or Sunday or Monday afternoon. It's about the people that made this country what it is, so the rest of us could enjoy these holidays. Not for them. So don't forget. Okay, sorry.
Oh, hold on, I'm just looking at Creole's statement. He says, I'm going to declare ditch pickles an invasive species.
Atta boy.
Yeah, he says, watch it, LG Bass is in here.
Eat more bass.
Jason Lamb just showed up. What's going on, Jason? Long time no see, buddy. Yeah, definitely. If you know a vet, reach out to them. Maybe even invite them to that barbecue you're having, that celebration. I'm sure they'd appreciate it. You know,
Absolutely.
Our country's doing a lot for people other than the vets these days. 100%. So
I agree.
The least you can do is at least more than what they're doing for them. And that's all I'm going to say about that. So
I agree.
What you got planned for the weekend besides honoring our soldiers, Lyle?
I'm not aware of anything at this particular time. I know there's a trip coming up next weekend. Maybe I'm not sure if I'm going or not. I haven't decided. I need to get out and do some fishing, but things just haven't worked out. Just, today would have been a great day. I got to go out the other day. I think it's Monday. Got a chance to go out today, but it's either raining or the wind's blowing 90 to nothing. And, I don't have to be out in that stuff. So I'm, if I don't have near perfect conditions, I'm okay with staying home. It gives me time to burn the red jigs and stuff like that.
I'm probably going to, if I do anything, it'll be a little pond fishing or some bank fishing. I had enough of the weekend fishing while we were in Madison. I actually launched from where they had a bass tournament, Lyle. That was quite the experience.
I see.
About 40 boats launching at the same time that I'm trying to put in. Took a little while.
I'll bet. Benoit Fishing Outdoors says, didn't keep any bass, Lyle. Boys were surprised when we showed up, especially with my Zebco Dock Demon. Only girls on the field. And kick their ass, sounds like. I like that. That's funny.
Go get them.
If it had been a tournament and they'd have done that well, them guys would have really been pissy, wouldn't they?
Speaking of which, let's remind everybody that Dee's having her ladies tournament coming up. Go over to the Fields to Water Facebook channel or Facebook page and get signed up through there. I believe they have enough to add another day, so they still have some spaces available, if I'm not mistaken. All the details are on that page. So
that should be a great tournament. There's a lot of ladies that fish. I don't know if they've changed any of the rules or not. Some of the teams used to be able to have a driver because a lot of ladies don't operate boats, which puts more people in the. I don't know what the rules are. I haven't looked at them yet. pardon me, for this year. But that is one of my favorite to watch tournaments every year. So, mercy. But yeah, if you want to get signed up, if you're a lady and you want to get signed up and test the water, so to speak, in the tournament angling world, this is a great place to do it. Oh, Benoit, Fishing Outdoors says we're in.
Good for you. Good luck.
Now, I don't remember, is that person, and persons, two contestants in one boat? I forgot how it works, Mark.
That's why we need to send people over to the page so they can find out. All the rules are right there.
Yeah, I forgot the rules. There's so many of them anymore, and I can't keep up with all of them, keep them separate. But it'll be a lot of fun. It always is. And you will be surprised if you're not participating and you watch how many fish are caught.
Root them ladies on 100%.
Absolutely. Yep.
So other than maybe a little bit of bank fishing or some pond fishing, I'm going to go and do a little bait tank restocking for sure, and then maybe some barbecuing this weekend. So that's what I got happening. A lot of my family's out of town this weekend, so we'll stay on the down low. I might do a little honeydew stuff too that I'm behind on. So
that gives you leverage in case you want to do another trip and go back to Mendota or something.
We're already talking about one, Lyle, so we can talk later. Keeping that one under the radar. We're trying to figure out how to make sure D can come and Chad doesn't even know. I mean, did I say that out loud?
Oh, wouldn't that be fun?
He must be working late. I can't get him to come out into the light. He's hiding on it.
I don't know what's wrong with him.
Yeah, he's just busy. That's all. Me and Chad hung out for a while. Got to see his new truck and his boat and stuff again. So that was kind of cool.
Pretty nice truck, isn't it?
Yeah, I got to see their new puppy too. Congratulations again on that.
I think Dee loves that dog.
Well, no, I'm not going to go there.
Yeah,
you make it too easy.
I'm trying to set you up.
You're trying to set me up. People already think I'm a jerk. Bugman in the house. What's up, Buggy? How you doing? I almost forgot to say hello to him.
Oh man.
I saw Buggy had a thumbnail on his morning chat this morning with a bunch of bluegills on a tailgate. It made me proud. But he was busy digging a fence post for me to tell him how well we did over the weekend. So hopefully you heard.
I didn't know he'd done a morning show.
Well, yeah, he does a hangout show and plays a hog leg now. Not every time. He just, when he's available, he goes live. So
okay, because I didn't know anything about it. Nobody said anything. Of course, some mornings I don't get up real early, but
sometimes. What do you mean sometimes?
Well, sometimes. Sometimes I'm still awake. You just never know about me.
That's truer than you getting up early. Oh, he says that was the cleaning station at the state park. Okay, gotcha.
I do have, cleaning station at state park is a wonderful thing if people don't leave messes in. That's the thing. It's kind of like public bathrooms at boat ramps and places like that. They put them in there for everybody to use, and then you get them clowns to go in there and make a mess out of them. You ought to be able to just grab them up by the head and pinch your neck and squeeze it till their head pops off. There's no reason for people to do that stuff when they know somebody else has got to go in there and use that.
YouTube, if you're listening, we disavow any violence. It's figuratively. That's why I'm here, folks. Keep him in line.
What do you say? We put a password up for everybody to get in the drawing, so we're not.
All right, let me get one. Why don't you pick one this time, Lyle?
How about jigs?
How about jigs? Okay, let's see if it lets me do it this time.
Bugman says yes. The stupid people who does not clean or does not run the grinder to get rid of the waste. One of my favorite places to fish when we was doing tournaments was Columbia Bottoms. It's a big boat ramp and lots of parking, and it's where the confluence of the Mississippi and the Missouri are. Love to go down there, fish the Mississippi if you want to, fish the Missouri River if you want. They have restrooms in there. They try really hard to keep that place up, even with the floods that go through there. And they'll clean it, and the next day it is just so nasty nobody even wants to go in there. And I offered to stay down there. I talked to a conservation agent who is a good friend of mine, and I said, "What? Why can't you guys catch these people?" He said, "You just can't. You can't tell them." I said, "I'll stay down here. I'll stay down here 2 or 3 days, and I'll catch everybody that goes in there and make a mess. Every time somebody goes in and out, I go check them. But I'll do it for free, but I want them prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law." They won't do it.
These days, that doesn't happen too often.
They won't prosecute them because it's not worth the time and the energy and the amount of money it takes to prosecute. Then why have a law? If you're not going to prosecute them, why have a law at all?
Good question. We should ask the next time there's an election, Lyle, the people that are voting for it. So,
that's coming up.
That's coming up. Danny Stone Outdoors cleaning stations at Crab Orchard Lake. Crab Orchard Lake has turtles sitting by it, smiling at you. It's really
I bet they do. I'll bet Danny named them. What do you want to bet?
Yeah, they might take one home. We don't have any cleaning stations here by me, and it's also illegal for you to clean fish on the shore side and throw the waste away. So even if you're using cut bait, you got to be really careful about that. So,
well, I've been to some boat ramps where people just clean them right on the boat ramps, and the stench was so bad. That really bothers me because there's no reason to do that. I mean, if you want to clean your fish at the lake and not take that mess home, then do it in your boat while you're still out. Dump it off in the water. Something will eat it. I promise you. It won't go to waste. But don't do it at the ramp or where there's going to be any place there's going to be a lot of people around. I've seen people do it on picnic tables, not thinking, man, what losers. But they won't give me the power to do anything about it. So, which I think they should. I really do.
Creel says that happens here way too often. Fish heads all over the ramp.
Yep. Here it's even worse because this is a great big spoonbill area. But they all do that when spoonbill season is. At every boat ramp you go to, they all clean them right there. And I understand. I have no way of proving it because I've never used it. Honest to God, I haven't. That spoonbill body parts are some of the greatest catfish bait in the world. But it's illegal in the state of Missouri to use it. And I don't know why, because they cannot possibly consider them things a game fish. There's no way they can consider them a game fish.
Hey, Lyle, real quick, let me take a break here and remind everybody that Lyle has some jigs he's going to give away. So if you want to get entered in to win those jigs, all you got to do is enter in jigs in the chat box, and you'll automatically be entered to win. He's got a bag of them. He doesn't know how many, but he'll load that up for you, and I'm sure you'll get good use out of it. So get entered in, just like Sean Abney did right here.
I am going to take a bag that I have, and they are this size bag. And I'm not going to say it's going to be jam-packed full, but there'll be 10, 15, maybe 20 in there. Whatever I grab up when I grab them out of there, how many's going in there. I'm not going to count them, do anything like that, but you'll get plenty. I don't want to put so many in that they charge me extra for shipping. Shipping these days is ridiculous.
Understood. Downey Outdoor says, I have cleaned tuna at my house and throw the heads in a small river right by my house. I have often wondered what people thought that saw them float by.
I bet that's right. That's funny right there. I don't care who you are.
Danny Stone says, Jerry cleaned several fish. There is a drain pipe from the cleaning station that dumps right into the water.
There you go.
Yeah, up on Lake Michigan, all the launches up there and all the places you can fish at, they have cleaning stations on Lake Michigan, so that's pretty cool.
In Osceola, Missouri, where I used to rent a place when Cindy and I had a motorhome, we would leave it up there and go up there on the weekends and stuff, and they had a cleaning station at the boat dock. The ramp was across the cove, and the dock was at the campground was just inside this cove. And there was a cleaning station on it with one of the old-time pump handle pumps. And you just pump the water up out of the lake and wash your stuff off. And nearly everyone that used that cleaning station kept it kind of tidy. Once in a while, you go down there and somebody leave their guts and stuff all over the station, but very seldom was that happen. Most of it was family people that was camping, and like Danny was saying about the turtles, there was raccoons and turtles and all kinds of that stuff was all gone the next morning. You didn't have to worry about it. They had a great big old light hanging up there. So if you come in late at night, you could do your business right then and there. It was a great thing. But the ramp, the cove had a little outlet that you could get in and out. And if the water wasn't up, you get stuck going in and out there. So they finally just closed the ramp down and never dredged that out because of Truman going up and down. You know how lakes and rivers and stuff are. It's on the one of the main tributaries to the lake, and they couldn't get the funding to do it. And Conservation Department would have paid for half of it, or the Corps of Engineers would have paid for half of it, but the city couldn't afford the other half. So that's a boat ramp we lost due to funding. And it's a terrible thing when a city can't come up with their part of that, and just to dredge it out every few years, because man, that was so handy. It really was. So now you got to drive 4 or 5 miles out of town to the next closest boat ramp, or go across the thing and hit. There's a couple over there, but they're not nearly as handy if you're staying in a campground.
Lyle, you would need a boat ramp if you used a kayak.
Are you going to come get me when I turn over?
100%.
You're full of crapola.
There's Aaron. He's joined us. What's going on, Aaron? How you doing? Folks, here we got 3 entries so far to win these jigs. So if you want to win these jigs, looks like there's about 40 people watching right now. So enter in jigs.
3 in there.
Unless they're not letting them enter it in, that could be 2. I don't know what's going on.
I will throw in some plastics that Little Miss Bacon Bates sent me to help that along, so you have something to put on those jigs.
There you go. Maybe I'll even get in on that.
Oh yeah.
And Creole might be onto something here. Says he'll definitely come get you, Lyle, with this camera rolling.
Yeah, it only took him a day and a half to get here. I still, with you talking about that, my mind.
Look at this. Tom says that his message disappeared 3 times. All right, folks, let me change the entry. I thought that the chat box might not let you do that, so I apologize anybody who entered in. So I'm going to go ahead and enter in Panfish. Make it easy. Yeah, because I don't think YouTube likes that.
I'm still thinking about being up in Cherokee and turning one over and all that muck and mud in the bottom of that. Wow.
All right, let's try that. Let's try this again, folks. And just enter in Panfish anywhere, and let's see if that works out. I apologize for any problems, but thank you, Tom, for letting us know.
We do want to remind everybody again, if you're a lady and you want to get in Dee's tournament, go over to the Fields and Water Facebook page and check out the rules and regulations and entry form to get in it. They've added an extra day. So I don't know how many spots are left, but if they filled up one day, it might not take too long to get the next day filled up.
Hey, there's Jen Smith. What's up, Jen? How you doing? 922 Crappie Barbecue showed up. I seen him come in here. Gene Tillman's getting entered in there. How you doing?
I thought that was strange. We only had 3.
Kevin Baker, what's up, Kevin? Rowdy Royal. Frank's getting in on this too over at Twisted Fishing Outdoors. Very cool. See, that's working out a little better here, Lyle. So
yeah, I think so too.
I thought that was something. I thought there was something going on. That's why I was a little quiet, trying to figure out what the heck was going on with this. And
yeah,
proved it.
922 says I like my odds 3.
I was going to enter in on that if that was true, Danny. I thought about it.
Wow. I thought that was weird because most of the time we get several people entered. But I'll still throw in them than plastics. I have some.
I like that Miss Bacon stuff. I got some from her, and they've treated me pretty
What
well.
a
So
sweet lady. She's very nice. She stands behind her stuff. I'm telling you, she's got it going on really well. But there's a lot of good people making plastics out there nowadays.
speaking of plastics, Lyle, I got a complaint.
Uh-oh.
And I hope you don't mind, but I'd like to air it out here.
Well, okay.
And it doesn't really have anything to do with you, except for you pointed out the sale at Bass Pro Shops on those Berkeley 1-inch gulp minnows.
I did.
You did. And I got those and I opened them for the first time. And you know how they're making them so they fall off the hook now. They used to be tough as nails.
Yeah.
You could catch a whole limit on one or two of them. They'd work fine. And now they're almost like trying to put Jello on a hook. They were horrible.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
I hope I just got a bad batch. So
I thought that was a big sale. I thought it was a little jars to start with.
So did I, but I got a bunch of those. I got some of the 3-inch ones, so hopefully those will work well for the crappies that I chased, or even jigging for walleyes. But those baits are great. I did catch a bunch of them on there, but I ended up going through a whole pack of them in one limit. Where, like I said, I can usually get
that ought to fall into false advertisement or something. I don't know.
And what made me mention that is because I talked to Bugman a little bit about. He said he was going to get them, so keep that in mind. The latest jar that I bought was okay. It was the ones that are in the little packs of. I think they got 10 or 15 in them. So
Down East Outdoor says the crickets are that way.
Oh, they are okay. Have they always been like that down east?
Are they in the packet or are they in the jars? If they're in the jars like that, that's really bad.
JG Hill says, well, Mark, mine are not like that. Sorry to hear it. Oh, maybe I just got a bad batch, and I hope
that's the case, because that's a good product. That's a good product.
Good stuff. You know, if you forget, leave it on a hook, you need a knife to get it off of there the next
Boy, that's no joke. That stuff will dry up to a hook and seize just like glue. I never seen nothing like it.
Look at this. Frank says, yes, I noticed that too. It degrades much faster now. Yep.
That's too bad.
Down East Outdoor says, yes, both pack and jar. They both work great.
Good.
Good. They still worked really well. So,
well, when you turned me on to those, I cannot tell you how many people have sent me stink bait of some kind of catfish related stuff over the years. Just absolutely tons and tons and tons of it. And to be quite honest, the only of it that I ever thought that was exceptional was Danny King's punch bait. Honest to God. That stuff really does work. You don't catch a lot of big fish on it. In fact, I've never caught a big fish on it, but you could catch great numbers with it. Now, I know other people that swear by this brand or that brand, and they use the stuff that you dip in and get it all over you. And the only thing I ever found that stuff good for was catch somebody with their back turned and set it down behind them and open the jar up and just leave it set and go back to doing whatever you're doing until they figure it out. Now, that's more fun than you can have in a boat unless you're catching fish. But that stuff really does work, and some of it I'm sure works for one place and might not the next. But that stuff, I had great success with that. So I have to say that it really does work. But yeah,
I agree with you 100%. I've used one brand here locally, that Secret 7 from Team Catfish, that works great. And then I've used it on the Rock River, and I couldn't get a bite, and I ended up getting some of that Danny's like you're talking about.
Yep. And
that stuff worked great down there. So,
well, it's got, unless they've changed it, it's got rabbit fur in it. And I think that helps it stay on the hook better. Just my opinion. But I thought that's what gulp would be like. And that was not true. That stuff that you sent me, I didn't catch as near as many fish on it as you do, but it's the first time I ever tried it. I actually bought more because it stays on the hook good, but you don't want to leave it on there. And it does catch fish. It does catch fish.
100%. I got a couple I need to read here, Lyle, and you're going to like
Okay.
the last one. Down East Outdoor says gulp minnows and crickets are the only bait I have ever used that I didn't wish I had live bait. Not as good as, but real close. I agree with you 100%.
Wow.
I've said this many times. It's a lot easier to keep a jar of those 1-inch gulp minnows in your truck than it is a thing of worms and trying to keep them alive and moving them in and out.
Yep.
And you ain't got to, if you got a jar of them and you happen to get a good batch, they'll last you a heck of a long time. You ain't having to run all the way.
Don't spill that juice in your tackle bag or anything like that.
Well, we had a talk. We need to start putting our hand ties in that juice and see what that does to them.
I think it's a great idea. It's worth a shot.
922 says, yeah, they what are they talking about here? Oh, JG says, lesson, take them off after you are done fishing with them and they were dry up. Yeah, I know, JG. Absolutely 100%. You figure I know I learned my lesson by now, but no, I'm usually in a too hurry to get moving or whatever. So, and this is one of probably my favorite comment of the night. Lyle, you want to read this?
Way to go, Frank.
JG Hill says he's on to me. He says, Lyle, Mark is spraying your stuff with fish waste spray. Welcome, Fishing with Don V. Thanks for entering. So what do you say, Lyle? We do the drawing. You guys ready for this?
Absolutely.
All right, why don't we do this? We got 22 people entered for the jigs from Lyle Stokes himself. If I had some painted Lyle, I would do a giveaway as well.
It's okay, man. You can do another one sometime. Hey, Tom gets it.
LG Bass has won. Congratulations, Tom.
Very nice. Tom, I know I got it somewhere, but you probably ought to go ahead and message me your mailing address because I don't know where I got it. I don't even know if I still got it.
Tom,
I'm sure I do, but
if you don't have Lyle's email, it's catfishtv@gmail.com, if I'm not mistaken.
catfishweeklytv@gmail.com.
I am mistaken. So, hey, Lyle, before we go tonight, me and Lyle both want to wish James Smith the best wishes. He's going through a rough spot here. You can probably find out what's going on with him on Facebook. I believe there's a GoFundMe too if you want to contribute to that, but he's in dire straits. He's in bad shape, folks. Last I heard, he was on a feeding tube. I could be wrong. I'm not in contact with his family or anybody out in that part of it, but I heard through the grapevine that he's not doing good. So me and Lyle definitely wanted to send out best wishes and prayers to him. So you guys should do that as well. Also keep Tim Molina in your prayers 100%. We're always thinking of Tim. I talked to him the other day. He said he was feeling pretty good, so that's always good to hear. So
did I read somewhere that D just now let Chad in chat?
He said that he's blaming her for being late, and I know better than that.
My understanding was it wasn't for her wanting to get out there before the storms hit. He would still be up there with that 80-mile-an-hour wind.
I didn't hear that. I haven't talked to him since then. I'm glad they made it safe.
Well, maybe it's not exactly, but it's pretty close. I've been in bed most of the evening with my back out. That's too bad. I could come down and walk on it if you would like.
I'm not going there.
I don't know if that will make your back feel better, but it'll make me smile. So
I got all sorts of jokes involving Parker and you and all sorts of weird stuff, but we're not going to say that, Lyle.
I'm pretty sure you're right about that. I have an emoji for both. Well, alrighty then.
Oh, wait, I do want to say something that I'm happy. Now I'm going to rat Chad out here. I talked him into spending $280 at the Mouse House, Lyle.
I think that's fabulous. The only sad part about that is he gets to eat $280 worth of cheese.
Yep, and fudge and all sorts of stuff. I take full credit for all of that. And that's more than you ever talked to me into spending on anything, so I win.
I know. Even with Dockery's help, we didn't get you to spend that kind of money.
On that note, what do you say we wish everybody a happy Memorial Day?
Absolutely. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you for joining us so much tonight. If you haven't already, hit that thumbs up on the way out. Chad and the boys will be on tomorrow night. Jody and Stan will be on Friday night. Don't know who's going to do what this weekend. Monday night Catfish Weekly will be back next Wednesday. That cover it, Mark?
That covers it. I think we're in good shape. Oh, did you mention Jody and Stan on Fridays? We can't forget that as well. Okay, good.
Thanks, everybody, for watching. We'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody.